Good morning everybody, and welcome to my local beach. Today I'm just going to do a quick groin photograph today. So we'll be doing my classic, which is going to be fine art, long exposure, trying to turn the water into a nice milky affair. The sea's not too bad today, so hopefully we'll get some softer water around the groins basically. We're going to do this one here first, get a couple of shots of this one as we start, and then there's a groin behind you just there which has got a bit of character, and then we'll finish off with that one there. And then I'll probably pop back to the studio and then we'll pick the best picture and we'll do a quick post-processing as well to let you have a quick look how I do my post-processing. So yeah, so without further ado, let's get the camera on the tripod and let's get cracked on. Okay, so I'm going to stick on my trusty Z9, and basically I've got a cage on my Z9 there, so that's just going to clip into there like so. Take off my lens cap and we're ready to go with that. I've got my case filters, so I'm going to clip them onto the tripod here. They'll just pop onto here and let them to go. I'm going to stick the filter holder on the front. In my filter holder I've got my polarizer, which is already on there, so that's just going to drop on the front there. Just good to go. Looking at the light, it's going to be really bright, so I'm going to go straight with a 10 stop. So I'm going to go, here we go, 3, 6 and a 10 stop. Put that one on there now. Text to the front, that just drops into there like so. And then because the sky is really bright, I'm going to put a graduated filter on there as well, so let's just stick that on there as well. So I've got a 1.5 graduated filter, and that's going to sit on the front of there, and that should be sorted. Excellent, so that's me pretty much good to go. What I'll do, I'll just stick on the phone thing now while we're waiting, so I'm going to put the phone adapter on, and that's now ready to go, so you can now see what I'm looking at through the camera now. So basically that's that done. So I'm going to turn it to the left, look for my groin, get me set up, and then I'm going to bring him into camera in a second. Okay, so I've just put my glasses on so I can see what's going on. You can see the setup on the camera there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to bring him into camera and let you have a look what I'm looking at. That should come in there now. So you're now in camera. It's a bit blurry, so what I'm going to do is hit the OK button, brings my focus point to the middle. I'm going to find a groin to pick on, which that one there will do nicely. Hit that. That's nice and sharp there now. I'm going to do my horizontals. Get that just spot on there. I'm going to try my polarizer, watch the sky, see if it does anything. There you go, a little bit coming in there, but not too much. I'm going to bring my grad down a little bit more, and about there. And then I'm going to zoom in so we have nothing but water. Let's have a look at that. That's not too bad. It's very harsh on the sun. I'm going to go to my favorite aperture, which is going to be f11. There we go, f11. And then I'm looking at my histogram now, and I'm going to change my ISO to move my histogram down and my histogram back up again. So let's bring the histogram down to there. So bring it back up to about there, and that's looking about, I think, there. That's not too bad. And what we'll do, we'll set that one off and see what happens. Okay, so that's just done the 30-second exposure there. Now what I'll do, we're going to press play on the camera. It's not too exciting, I've got to say, but let's just do a check on the focus point. So we're going to zoom in. Focus is nice and sharp there, that's acceptable, and that's it. So let's come back out. Let's check the exposure. Go to display, and exposure is just slightly under, but I'm underexposing it slightly because of the sun hitting the white froth. But there you go, that looks pretty good to me. Nothing too exciting. The one on my right hand side seems to have a bit more character, and the water is now just starting to come to the front of that now. So the sun's just starting to come down behind that now. We're now getting shadows all around here, and we'll have nice soft light, nice soft water, and then we're back onto nice fine art images, which is exactly what I want. So and that's rolling there, so that's lovely. Again, I'm just going to check the focus. Focus is okay. Spot on there. I think that's looking pretty good there. The water's coming up nicely there. So I think that's pretty good to go. So what I want to do a minute, which is going to be 60 seconds there. I'm going to bring my ISO down and open it up a little bit more. And that should do it there now. So we'll let that one go. Okay, so that's just done there now. I'm going to press play, and that's there now. So very, very happy with that there now. That's looking really nice. Check it for sharpness, that's lovely. Let's just check the exposure. Exposure spot on. So I'm going to come out, and then you should be back with me now. So all we need to do now is going to come back a little bit further and then look at the top of this groin and get a nice frame up and then get ready for the best pictures, which are not going to be very far away now. So let's get set up. Okay, so we're now just setting up on the camera again now. So once again, I'm just checking my focus point, which is going to be here. That's nice and sharp there, it's looking good. I'm going to do just going to check my filter in the background to bring that sky down because it's too bright. That's not too bad at all there, that's good. And I think that's not bad at all there, so we're ready to go. We just need the water to come up there now. Maybe to about there. So we're going to do a quick test exposure with this one and then see how it looks like. So we're getting a bit of water coming in. It's sneaking in, but we're getting very, very close to the actual shot that's needed. So off it goes now. We'll see what comes from there. Okay, that's just popped up there now. Let's have a quick look at that. And we'll press play. So again, that's looking really, really nice. All we need now is just going to wait for that water to come. Exposure at the moment, check that. Spot on at the moment. So let's just hang on there. Another 10 minutes and that water will be just up on the top here and then we'll be spot on. Very good. Okay, so at the moment that sun has now gone behind some clouds in the distance there and we're now getting soft light everywhere, which is pretty good. Really impressed. So what I'm going to do is going to bring you into the camera again, let you have a quick look at what I'm looking at. And then here we go. So we're starting to get there now. We're nearly there. Let's check my focus point. Focus point is good. Let's go do that again. Just lock it onto there. That's it. Lock it on. Check it. That's nice and sharp there. And that's looking pretty good. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to go to a 1 minute exposure. So I'm on 30 seconds. Let's take it to 1 minute. And I'm going to bring my ISO down a bit. 1, 2, 3 for the minute. And I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to go to 2 minutes. So I'm going to do the same again. 1, 2, 3. And that is ready to go. So we're going to let that one go and see what comes from that one there. Okay, so that's 120 seconds just done now. Let's have a quick look at that one. Going to press play and see what comes. And we're there now. Let's have a quick peek at that there. So that's looking really, really nice. Nice and sharp, lovely soft light, lovely soft water. Oh yeah, that's really good. Let's just check my exposure. Exposure is absolutely spot on. So yeah, that's in the can. So I think what I'm going to do now, since I've got a nice one there and it's now got dull, I'm going to go on the other side and I'm going to shoot the other way. So there's a bit more character on the other side and we'll see what we can get from that. So let's move over. We're now on the other side of this groin now, so again, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring it into camera, let you have a quick peek at what I'm looking at. I've already set it up anyway, so we'll have a quick look at it, and we're in camera now. So again, I've done the horizontals, they've all been sorted out, spot on there. That's good. I'm going to bring my focus point onto this groin here, wait for that light to disappear, that's it, and then focus on there. Let me check the focus. That's sharp enough now, that's good. That's excellent. So I'm going to just make sure my grad at the background is going to come in nicely there. So that's going to even the exposure off, hopefully, bring the sky down from the background. Everything else looks pretty good there. Exposure wise, I need to probably just bring up a little bit. So I'm on 500 ISO. So let's bring my aperture down to f8 and bring my ISO down a little bit more. And I think that's not a million miles away. So that's going to be 30 seconds, f8. And we'll let that one go and see what comes from that. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring you back into camera, bring this one out. Okay, you're back in camera again now, so I'm lined up again pretty much. This time I want to take it to 1 minute. Take that to f11. Take it to 2 minutes. And bring the ISO down, and I'm going to let that one go now. So hopefully this will give us a really nice soft 2 minute exposure. Okay, so that's the 120 second exposure done now. Let's bring it into play mode. Bring it to camera, let you have a look at it. Wow, look at that. That's looking really, really nice, that shot. I love that. Beautiful, beautiful light there. Whoa! Did we get that one there? So coming back to where I was, I think what I'm going to do on coming back was a bit crazy to say the least. My goodness, I nearly got caught out then. So as I was saying, where was we? We were looking at this picture here again. So that looks really, really nice there. Very, very happy with that. Nice soft water. Let's zoom in and let's have a look down there. Beautiful. I love the way that the light is catching the back of those balls there. It's beautiful, that is. Just check the exposure quickly. Absolutely spot on. Very, very happy with that. Very good. And I think that's us definitely done. I'm going to call it there, and we're going to head back to the studio and let's process one of these images and see what you think of it. Okay, and welcome back to the studio. Thanks very much for staying with us this long, guys. It's much appreciated. If you like what we say, please feel free to like and subscribe. That'd be much appreciated. Certainly help the channel out there. And what we're going to do now, we're going to go through some of my post-processing on how I clean up my images using Photoshop and Lightroom. So without further ado, let's get cracked on and let's get into Lightroom and let's create some magic. Okay, guys, so we're now into the Lightroom module. We're in the library part. And basically what I'm going to do, you can see all the images that I took on the day, but we're going to go straight to the kill. We're going to go to this one here. Have a look at this image. This is the image that we're going to clean up today. So basically, I'm going to take you into the develop part. We're going to go from top to bottom basically. So check the histogram. So we're not too bad on exposure wise because it was taken correctly. So what we're going to do is going to reset everything. Okay, and we'll go back to where we started now. So let's have a look at this now. So first things first, what I'm going to do is going to just take up my exposure slightly higher. I'm going to take my highlights down. I'm going to bring my shadow detail to pull the boards up. That's cool. A little bit of contrast, about 5-6 contrast. Going to push the whites up just a touch so they're not burning out too much there. I'm going to bring the blacks back. Going to press the option key down and then we can see where the blacks have gone too far. That's good. Bring the blacks back, so black will be to there. That's good. And then that's that part done. I'm going to use a little bit of clarity, no more than 10. Texture, no more than 10 again, so that will do there. And I think a little bit of no vibrance required. Going down to the next panel, not going to bother doing it. I'll do a little bit of colour here. I'm going to put a little bit of saturation into the blues because I want to bring the black and whites up later on. So the whole idea is to push the blues up a little bit, and then that'll help with my black and whites later on. I'm going to move down to sharpen. I'm going to press the option key, move my masking across. So all I'm going to be doing is just sharpening the groins only there. That'll do. And take my sharpening up to about 100. That's that done. No denoise required. Lens profiles, I'll just click on them too. And then that is that. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go into some linear gradients. Click onto that there. Create a linear gradient. So we're going to bring that into from here. Okay, that's coming in there like that. Just bring the sky down a little bit. Not too much, so that will probably do there. And then I've got this really big white bit here, so I'm going to use a radial gradient now. I'm going to tone that bit in there. So what I want to do is get a little bit of separation with those clouds and create a bit of separation between the clouds and the blue. So let's go a bit smaller and then pull that over to there. So all I'm doing is just around that area there. So again, I'm going to bring the highlights down on that. That's the wrong one, so I should be in, that's right, yeah. Let's bring the highlights down. There you go, highlights have been brought down there. Bring exposure down just a touch. And again, the same rule is don't go too far because it gets dirty. But just bring it back just a hint, and that will do there. I'm going to try and make these clouds separate slightly, so I can do that with the clarity button there. So I'm going to move the clarity up a little bit. And I'll leave the texture alone and do a little dehaze. That separates a little bit there. So that'll do for that. I think that's not too bad. Before I come out of here, I'm going to do another linear gradient. Just take it from the bottom. And then I don't want to do the gradient on this, so I'll do the subtract and then subtract subject, and that will get rid of that little bit there. which is just done. And then I'm going to bring this down here just a little bit more like that. That's good. And I'm just going to soften it a bit. So soften it, I tend to use a little bit of texture, clarity, and then take a bit of texture out, and that will soften the water a little bit on the left hand side. And that's it, I think. So before I come out of it, I'm going to do a crop. So I'm doing a crop of 16:9 for YouTube. Click onto there. That's my crop. Going to make sure my horizontals are correct, and they're not a million miles off there. That's pretty much it sorted there. Going to bring this down just a little bit here. Do the old rule of thirds. That's not looking too bad there. And I think that's not a million miles away. Yeah, that's looking good. And then return that. And that's good to go. So I'm now going to come out of Lightroom. That's as much as I would do in Lightroom there now. So I'm going to come out of there into Photoshop. So I'm going to press Command E. That will take me into Photoshop. I'm going to downsize this straight away as soon as it comes in. There's Photoshop out. Here it comes now. That's it there. And we're into Photoshop now. Let's get to image size. And I'm going to bring it down to YouTube size, which will be 3840. 840. That's it. And then go OK. Make it a bit bigger. There you go. So that's good to go now. That's ready for YouTube. Okay. So what I'm going to do there, that is pretty much it there. I'm going to press Command and L just to see how far we're off the histogram. So I'm going to bring that down just a little bit like that. Move that back up a touch. And that is as much as I would need to do for basic process there. So I'm going to save that. File, save as. Color. Save that to the desktop, and then save it as a JPEG, and then that's the first part done. Okay, that's sorted. Come out of there now. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I've got my color picture there. Basically what I want to do is do a quick black and white. So what I'm going to do is going to do it to the adjustments panel down here. Going to click onto that. But before I do that, I'm just going to get a quick copy of the actual subject, which will be the groins. So I'm going to select, come down to subject, because I may want to do a little bit of a half color. And that's picked up all that detail. I can enhance on that by using this little brush up here. It's not giving me the name of it. Okay, just going to extend on that a little bit. So just going to bring it down a touch there. Check the rest of it's okay. And a little bit down here. And I think that is it, good to go. So I'm going to press Command J, which is copy and paste. And that's basically, that should show my layers. And there it is there. You can see what I've just pasted in there. And that's good to go for that. And then what I need to do is do a black and white in there. So I'm going to create another layer. So I'm going to get the background layer, press Command J again. So I'm creating another layer. I'm then going to go to adjustments. I'm then going to go into strong in Photoshop itself, which is quite a nice adjustment layer there. And then when you go down to here and look into this adjustment layer, if you look to the black and white one, I'm just going to click on the black and white layer there, double click that bit there. And I'm going to bring the blue sky a bit, so I'm going to use the blues. So I'm going to lift the blue scale up a bit and bring the blue sky in a little bit there. There we go. And bring a little bit of cyan as well. And that should do that one quite nicely. Okay, that's good. I'm going to turn the top layer off, which is that one there. I don't need that at the moment. Okay, so I'm just going to make that one layer now. So before I move on to there, I want to literally put a bit more detail into this area here. So basically what I'm going to do is flatten that there. So that's that layer being flattened. Merge visible layers, there we go, that's it. So that's just flatten that layer there. That's the first black and white one there. What I want to do is do another black and white one, so I'm going to press Command J again, and I'm just going to do a straight layer without doing the extra, so it's a bit softer on the bottom. And again I'm going to flatten that one as well, so that's going to go there to there, flatten that layer, merge, and then when you turn the top one off, you can see the top one's quite harsh on the sky, which is what I want on the sky. but I want the bottom to be, the detail to be kept in the bottom and smoother in the bottom. So what I'm going to do there now is I'm going to do a gradient layer on this layer here. So I'm going to click onto there, click onto my mask tool, get my gradient tool here, which is this one, and I'm just going to bring this up to here, press my shift key to keep it straight, and that's just going to go to there. And then what that's done is just brought a gradient layer into there. Let's do a little bit, do another bit up here, make it a bit higher up. And that's better there now. So in theory, I'll turn that off. So literally all that's doing is the top bit there. Then you've got the bottom bit, and then the colour bit at the very bottom there. So that's that done like so. What I need to do now is I'm going to bring detail into this here. So I'm going to click onto this layer. Going to press Command Shift and A. Okay, going to take my radial gradient, going to come into here quickly, so I'm just going to get a bit of detail, make it smaller so I can spread it a bit more. There you go. And that needs to go into there, and then bring the highlights down. That's a bit better there now. A little bit of contrast. I need to bring in the clarity a little bit. That helps a little bit. See if dehaze will help a little bit. Dehaze is separating a little bit there like that. And I just need to bring the overall exposure down a bit more. That's better, just coming into about there now, so I've got detail in the sky there. That's just about right. There you go. Go OK on that. Excellent. So there we go. So I'm happy with that there now. Okay, so what I need to do now before I move any further, I'd like to just darken this bit in here. So again, I'm just going to do a quick, I'm going to join these two together now. So I'm happy with these two as they're sitting. I'm going to basically go merge. I'm going to do another gradient layer, which is Command, Shift and A on the black and white layer. Use my linear gradient again, which is going to come into here. That's lovely. And then I'm going to bring that down a bit. Bring the exposure down just a touch, a little bit of contrast. Go into clarity, just a touch of clarity, and then a bit of texture to soften it down there. That's it. Go OK. Or before I do that, I need to remove subject on that, so that should just take it off these actual little grinds, and then go OK. And then that's my black and white bit done there. I'm going to bring a bit of colour by bringing that one in there. So that's the colour part coming in. Let me bring that into, bring it down to about 75%. I don't like the blue, so obviously what I'm going to do is just rub that bit off. So I'm going to get my rubber tool. And then where the blue is, it doesn't really work with me, so I'll just take the blue out there. So we're on that layer now, so let's remove that there. Take the opacity right up to about 70 odd there now, so just get rid of the blue. That's good. Just keep it to there. That's nice. Anything that's blue I don't like, get rid of that, which is fine. There you go. Still leaving a little bit of colour in there, a bit of character. There you go. And I think that is it. Come back. Okay, that's a nice half colour there, so that's pretty much good to go there now. So all I want to do now, just to make it work a bit better, is to remove that horizon basically. So I'm going to flatten that, I'm going to leave that there as it is there now, and now what I'm going to do is going to go to the black and white layer. I'm going to copy the sky, which is basically this bit here. I'm going to go straight just above the horizon, up there. Going to copy and paste that, which is Command J. Command T for transform, edit, go down to distort, hit that there. Going to bring that down to where I want to bring, so I'm looking at the tones, so it's coming down to about here, not too much, so I'm looking at the tones from here to see if they'll merge quite nicely, which they should do there. So I'm going to do the opacity on that so I can see how far it is there, so you can see it's from there to there basically, and I think that'll do quite nicely there. So that's good to go. So return that, press mask on that layer, mask that, okay, and then get my gradient,
And I'm going to again press my shift key down there. So I'm looking to go about from here up to the line exactly and no further than the line, and that will be it. And then bring my opacity back up to 100%, and then you will not see it at all. And there it is, it's gone. That looks pretty good. That looks like it's merged quite nicely, that has there. That's really good. Okay, so I can now flatten that one. Click those two together. Merge, there we go, merge layers. Okay, and that's looking pretty good there. The only thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and use this tool here, which is the is it spot removal? Can't remember what it's called again. Spot healing brush, and I click onto that, and I'm going to try and get rid of some of this stuff here to bring some more milky water in there, basically. So spot healing is basically going to get a guesstimate of what's around there. See if it does with that. It's done not too bad a job there. Let's just do a little bit around here. That's not too bad. And then I'll finish that off with the clone tool. So I'm going to click onto that one there, put my clone tool to about 46%, and I'm going to clone off little bits like this and just move them into there, literally, so you just can't see them, just blending in there gently. Let's use that marker there, so I'm going to bring that into there, nice and gentle. Okay, coming up to here, bring this down to there, and I think that is not a million miles away. You get the idea. I do a lot more, spend a bit more time on it, but just for this one, because we're on the clock, that will pretty much do for that. Okay, and that's looking not too bad there. So again, that's now flattened down a little bit. Just turn that off and on. That's good. I'm just going to try and punch this little bit here up here. So I'm going to go to old school. So basically I'm going to put my feather at 200. I'm going to go around this area here, come down this area, and then come back in. Copy and paste that area. So Apple J, and then Apple L, and then literally I'm going to just pick up the highlights, bring in the shadows. There we go. That's not too bad. It puts a bit more punch into it. And again, if it's too much, I can always take the opacity out on it. So I'm going to go OK on that, turn it off. And you can see it coming in there, so it gives it a better sky. Now that's burning out again there, so a way to get rid of the whites there sometimes is just go to your brush tool here and then click onto highlights, 17%. And then what we're going to do is just going to flatten these two first, so they merge together. That's that done. And I just want to tone this down a little bit there. So I've got my highlight brush there now. So I'm just going to gently go over there, and that is as much as I need to do with that, I think. Yep, that's cool. And then I'm going to press Command L to see what the overall, bring that in again. Just to punch it up a little bit more there. And again, bring the shadows in, that's it. The darks in, that's nice. And that, I think, is it. That's not too bad. Quite happy with that. Gonna do one more shot at that, and that's going to be Command Shift and A. Again, make it as smaller. Use a radial gradient on it, and then come over here. Go over the whole thing. Select Invert. There you go, and it's just going to basically darken those edges down a little bit there like that. And there you go, that's quite nice. Bring the blacks in a little bit. I think that's about it there, and that is done. So I'm going to file save that, file save as, stop there, cancel that at the minute. So the document couldn't be saved because it's JPEG. So all right, okay, cancel that for a second, flatten that. File, save as, there you go, and this is going to be a horizon, there you go, and then desktop, JPEG, jobs are good and go OK. So that's that one there. Let me find the colour one, and there's the colour one there, and it's whatever you fancy really at the end of the day. That's your basic edit from Lightroom there. and then that's your finished edit there on the left hand side without a horizon on it, basically. So there you go. So that's it. That's me done for this one this time, guys. That was just a quick horizon removal and a quick clean up on the old image there for that one. So yeah, so if you like what you see, please feel free to like and subscribe again, and that'd be much appreciated, and then we'll catch you on the next one.